Everyone thinks Truk Lagoon is a graveyard. It's actually something far darker, a monument to a single decision that cost 200,000 lives. In February 1944, the Imperial Japanese Navy made a choice. They would concentrate their Pacific fleet at Truk Lagoon, a natural fortress in the Caroline Islands, ringed by coral reefs, defended by land-based aircraft and anti-aircraft guns. Military strategists called it impregnable. They were wrong, but not for the reason you think. The accepted story goes like this. The Americans learned of the concentration, launched Operation Hailstone on February 17th, and obliterated the fleet in 2 days of bombing runs. 60-plus ships sunk, thousands of sailors dead. End of story. That version's not wrong, it's just incomplete. The real question is why the Japanese command made that decision at all, and what they actually lost when they made it. Start in late 1943, the Japanese Navy is hemorrhaging ships, submarine losses mount, supply lines to the outer territories are strangled. Tokyo needs a decision: consolidate the fleet in one defensible position or scatter it across multiple bases. Truk seemed logical. The lagoon's geography was legendary, nearly 140 square miles of protected anchorage, reefs that destroyed enemy ships, airfields on nearby islands. To the men choosing, the math worked. Concentrate everything, defend it all at once. They didn't know the Americans had broken their codes. They didn't know carrier task forces were already en route. And they didn't know that the very geography they trusted, those reefs, that enclosed lagoon, would become a trap. On the morning of February 17, 1944, American pilots flew into Truk's lagoon unopposed. The Japanese expected them at dawn. They arrived at 6:47 a.m. By then, surprise was total. Here's where the accepted story cracks. Everyone says the Americans sank the fleet in 2 days. The actual death toll wasn't from combat, it was from what came after. The Japanese Navy lost approximately 200,000 tons of shipping and 275 aircraft in Operation Hailstone. But the human cost tells a different story. Roughly 4,000 sailors died in the immediate attacks. The real massacre, it was in the water. Truk Lagoon has no rescue infrastructure, no nearby islands with supplies, no fast transport ships. Survivors bobbed in the Pacific waiting for help that wouldn't come. Sharks came instead. Exposure, thirst, madness. The Japanese Navy's choice to concentrate the fleet wasn't strategic failure. It was mathematical. Under the information they had, it made sense. But decisions made under pressure with incomplete intelligence don't stay incomplete forever. Today, Truk Lagoon contains over 60 wrecks. Japanese destroyers, cruisers, auxiliary ships, submarines, all resting on the lagoon floor between 100 and 600 feet down. They are perfectly preserved. The cold, deep water is a natural freezer. Divers who descend into the lagoon report the same thing. Skeletal remains still in the ships. Thousands of them. Officers at their posts, sailors in the holds. The dead, undisturbed for 80 years, waiting in the dark. The Japanese Navy called Truk the Gibraltar of the Pacific. It was supposed to be unsinkable. The irony is brutal. The very isolation that made it defensible made it a death trap when defense failed. But here's what changes everything about how we see this. The Americans didn't destroy Truk because they were superior tacticians. They destroyed it because they had one advantage the Japanese didn't account for. They knew the plan was coming. The real story of the Ghost Fleet isn't about American superiority. It's about information asymmetry. One side made a decision with 60% of the facts. The other side made a decision with 100%. The cost of that gap, 4,000 lives, plus the slow death of thousands more in the water. Truk Lagoon remains a graveyard, but not because war is brutal. Because strategy, no matter how logical it seems in the moment, can collapse the instant new information arrives. Those 60 wrecks aren't monuments to Japanese failure. They are monuments to the cost of not knowing. Subscribe every week. There's a new wreck with a story that rewrites history.